Hi, and welcome to Visibility Unlimited and Visibility Unlimited Spotlight. I'm Leslie Short, your host and the owner of the Cavu Group. Today's interview is all about social impact. You know, I have a special spot. So when I find amazing people doing amazing things in social impact, I want to make sure to introduce them to you. So, as you know, I ask my guests pretty much the same 8 questions with a lot of things in between. So, welcome to my guest. And I'm going to start off by just saying, can you start the sentence with I am?
I am Alexis Davis. I identify as a proud Black American woman and a lover of people and health and wellness, particularly for Black people. So that's been my journey of learning how to connect with others and uplift others while uplifting myself and learning more about how we can all inhabit this world together and leave it better than we entered it.
Oh, that is the goal, isn't it? So,
Yeah.
what does social impact mean to you?
Social impact for me means trying to make a difference in whatever small or big way you can, a positive difference in that community around you, and recognizing that everybody has a role and you don't have to have a lot of money or a lot of power to make a difference, even just helping your neighbor or just being in community and connection with one another.
I like how you frame it as community.
Hmm.
And you're not trying to save the planets on the big part of it. You're really, that's what I say is a change agent,
Yeah.
is someone that makes those changes in their community, in their surroundings.
Yeah. And I feel like that if more people thought of it like that, the world wouldn't feel so overwhelming. I think, and it's by design, where all there's such an influx of information all the time where you almost feel paralyzed. Like, what can I do? There's too many things. Like, well, you didn't create all the world's problems, so you don't have to solve all the world's problems. But just in your sphere of influence, in your local network, even within your own family, there's an impact you can make whether you think so or not, that can ricochet into further generations. Even if it's just you're the first person in that went to college, or you're the first person who learned about financial literacy. You taught the rest of the family how to save a little money. That makes a bigger difference than you realize.
Absolutely. I always say I don't think I was put on this earth to save it. That's not my job. And I go into
Mm-hmm.
companies and I'm very clear to say that's not what I do. I'm
Mm-hmm.
here to expand beyond the current culture. I'm here for you to think about something different, to look at something differently and figure out how can we move the needle with what we have control
Right. Right.
in, you know? So that goes back to what do you do?
Mm-hmm. So my day job, I'm a family physician, board certified family medicine physician. And outside of work, I also am a candle maker and I call myself a Black Joy ambassador. I have a home fragrance and wellness brand called Black Joy Soy, which centers and celebrates Black joy and highlights the importance of us as Black people tapping into self-care, community care, and really prioritizing our mental health.
And I saw that. So part of the proceeds go back into what is it, a nonprofit or just in the company? How does that work?
Yeah. Within the company, we call it our Black Joy Fund. So 5% of all proceeds go into that Black Joy Fund. And that Black Joy Fund supports Black nonprofits that have mental health initiatives or are looking to increase wellness within the Black community. And also helps us to support nonprofits directly through like our wellness workshops and things like that. We actually are partnering soon with the Diaspora DNA Center, a nonprofit here in Philly that just helps to encourage people to tap into learning about their lineage and connecting with community. So we'll be hosting free or very low cost workshops with them, and the Black Joy Fund helps us to kind of do that work in the community.
That is amazing. In full disclosure, everyone, I was able to go to a workshop, and this one was for the home fragrance. I did not know what to expect. If you know me, you know I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to me, not so much other people. And I'm mixing, and I'm like, I'm not liking it. But it wasn't. There's a couple things I want to share about that part. You were educating us in African American history with the scents, the flavors, the essence.
Mhm.
And it wasn't, it was, oh, I don't want to say, because I don't want to say you were teaching, but you were teaching and sharing history pieces that probably most people don't know.
Mhm.
How did you start that side of it?
Yeah, I think for me, the whole brand itself was a way to weave Black culture in and also tie in all the different elements of mental health. So, particularly because it was Black History Month, I wanted to find a way to connect the fragrance. And I feel like fragrance is something that was all a part of all of our lives, but not something we think about like on a deeper level. But it's so connected to memory and to personhood and to history and culture. So I just thought it was important to bring those elements in there and talk and let people know like there are different reasons you're drawn to certain scents, or this has this connection to culture, so that, or just even asking your own personal family history. Do you remember this scent? Like, what significance did it have for you personally? So tying that all together just felt like a natural fit, particularly during the Black History Month workshop.
Well, I'm going to say, as much as I mixed and matched, I, I cannot tell you how much I love what I end up coming up with
Oh, I'm
and
so happy to hear
spraying it
that.
in my room, honestly, and then on my pillows. And just, there is something about it that does, it settles you down at night.
Mhm,
Just to be
mhm.
able to roll over and just take a nice whiff of something that just is good for your soul. You
Yeah.
said, and I was reading your bio, that you started this when you were in your residency to somewhat calm yourself down.
Yes, yes. It became my own self-care practice of like, okay, this is something I don't have to worry. It's low stakes. I'm just here and I'm creating. It allowed me to tap into a different side of myself. Like, obviously, medicine, very regimented, rightfully so. You have to be on your P's and Q's all the time. But this was something where there was no right or wrong answer. Like, if I didn't like it, I just didn't spray it or didn't burn it in the house, but I got to just play with it and have fun. So I definitely it helped me to just have a outlet and kind of like a release valve from the height of what I was going through during residency, particularly having
And I still have
fresh
no idea
COVID.
where you found the time for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a quick thing. Like you saw during the room story making workshop, like outside of the educational pieces, the actual making part doesn't take too long. So
Right.
I think that's an important nugget of like learning. You don't have to have a bunch of money to go to some fancy spa. You don't have to have a bunch of time either. Find something that you enjoy. And even if you just square away 20 minutes for yourself, it's important to do that. Like we all need something that feels like it is restorative and like it is for us. And I feel like, especially as Black women, we're so apprehensive to do those things. Doing for yourself feels selfish, but it's like, no, you deserve rest. You deserve self care, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. And there are the busiest person in the world can find a way to take some time for themselves. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you have some time.
Absolutely. How does this play into your practice? Your family. So you're seeing, I'm assuming, all ages, a
Yeah.
little bit of everyone and everything. How does this play in?
I think I'm definitely a little non-traditional in the fact that I do bring this kind of stuff up during the visit. Like, how are you sleeping? What are you doing to take care of yourself? And not just like, okay, what are your numbers? What are your blood pressure? Like those things are important, but
Right.
all the surrounding factors and stressors and different things you have going on in your life affect those hard and fast numbers as well. So just making sure people are actually I'm putting it in front of their mind to say like if my doctor is asking me about this, then this is something I should be thinking about.
Right.
So I think just bringing it into those kind of self-care and just conversations, bringing them to the forefront.
So rare because most doctors you do go to, you have a limited time to spend
Mhm,
with patients, and it is about the numbers, what hurts, what you
mhm.
do, here's where you go, here's what you take, follow up laughter.
Yeah, yeah.
And just to have, I can imagine having a doctor that says, wait, what are you doing to take care of yourself?
Mhm.
That's rare.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's like by the system itself does have those constraints, but like I said, you can find small pockets of ways to kind of plant that seed for folks, and it doesn't have to take up a lot of the visits. So, yeah, there's a lot that can and needs to change within our health system, but I feel like finding those points of connection where you can infuse just some personhood and humanity back into the system, it
Right.
makes a big difference.
Okay, so I have to ask and then I'll go back into social impact, but this is part of it. If I walk into your office
Hmm.
space, am I getting a scent? Are they, is there something there? Is Black Joy within that office?
No, no, and it's all separate. My colleagues don't even know that I do that. I have one friend at the office who knows that I do it, but nobody, no, I don't bring it up. Some people, I think, as I'm doing more events out in the community, some people know, but
I'm going to say if I walk into a doctor's office, and I understand because it smells, people have to be sensitive to
Mhm.
those types of things. I'm absolutely aware of that in airborne allergies and all those things. But I'm gonna tell you, if I walk into a doctor's office and there's a scent of a spa of peace, I think you would probably get so much more even out of your patients
Mhm.
of what's really going on because it would relieve the here's my five things I wrote down and
Yeah,
say, here's what's really happening.
yeah. And this is a place you can relax and things like that. Yeah, I agree. Finding a way to make our clinics and healthcare where we provide healthcare less institutionalized and more warm make would go a long way. I think that's a big part of why I started Black Joy, being able to connect with folks outside of the clinic because I
Right.
know that just being in that environment in and of itself can be a challenge and a barrier for folks for their health. And going out into the community where we can have fun, have a workshop, and we're all kind of communing and fellowshipping can be an easier way for people to let their guard down and kind of talk about some of the health questions or health issues that they wanted to ask questions about but didn't know how to ask their doctor, didn't have the opportunity, or don't even have a doctor, because that's the reality for a lot of folks too. So finding alternative ways to connect and provide healthcare and improve health literacy for our folks.
And I will say your workshop was set up beautifully. It was so welcoming. I didn't expect that. It's a space that I've been many times. I've been
Mhm.
many events, and it was just I saw the care that you took into setting up. And then when I found out you were a doctor, and I was like, oh, if she takes this care and wanting to share this side of who you are and what you do to give to others, what an amazing doctor I'm sure you are. And then to step out of that for the community. When you're doing the workshops, do you require a certain amount of people? Do they have a choice of candle making or the room fragrance, or how does that work? And
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for saying such nice things and beautiful things. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad that the workshop like had the impact that I wanted to have. So that really was affirming. So thank you. And as far as the workshops, it really depends on the organization that I'm working with, what they want to do. I usually say at least like trying to have an intimate group, so usually not more than 15, but having at least 5 people helps to actually like make it more fun for the games and like an activity part of it. But it really depends on what folks want to do. So I'm open to either candles or room sprays. I haven't done a wax melt making workshop yet. A lot of folks aren't familiar with them, but the room sprays and candles, some people want to do both. They want to do a mini candle and a room spray all in one workshop. So I'm flexible.
uh-huh. But oh yeah, I forgot about the games. She had us out here playing games. I'm out on a Friday night. I'll be honest, having a little glass of wine, messing with my little room fragrance, and all of a sudden she's like, "We're going to do trivia," and we were like, "Uh-oh, are we?" We didn't know there was homework as part of this. But again, it was a great way because all of a sudden the people that were sitting there, yeah, everyone's being there polite, but then it's like, wait, what are you using? What are you using? What teams are we going to be on? And it was another level of community within the community again. And so that is something that is social impact because I can tell you, I guarantee everyone walked away from that event. Um, One, happy with what they've done, happy to have just had a relaxing, fun evening, and learn something new.
Yeah.
So with that, why should people care about social impact?
Yeah, I feel like, especially in today's culture, in this country particularly,
Mhm.
we're all hyper focused on the self, like the individualism, and it's hard to see beyond yourself in your immediate needs. But
Mhm.
whether we like it or not, we're all connected. We are social beings. We all depend on one another. Even if you're the most isolated person in the world, you just work and stay to yourself, you don't get your groceries if those people don't show up to work to drive the stuff to the store. And we all owe each other something. We're all connected. So doing your part to make sure that society continues to function in a way that is beneficial for everybody, ultimately you reap the rewards of that too. So feeding into the system, of making the world a better place ultimately works out for the betterment of us all. So
Mhm.
that's why it's important.
Right. And your name, Black Joy.
Hmm.
Why did you choose that?
Yes. So I, during residency, decided to learn more about joy and not just happiness. Joy is something like this inner peace and contentment of knowing that whatever the circumstances, I'm going to choose to focus on the parts that are sustaining me and are allowing me to have hope in my why. So wanting to share that with everybody else and encourage Black folks in particular, remember the joy that has sustained us from generation to generation, and not becoming hopeless in this very trying time that we're going through in the world. So that's where it came from for me, from both a personal
Mhm.
place, and then also just a more generational community of Black people who have needed joy to sustain them, over centuries, and have done so, um, very, very valiantly, I would say.
Right. And it's funny because that was going to be my next thing. What's the why behind the why? You don't have to do this. I can only imagine, no matter how much you say we make time, I'm sure
Mhm,
your schedule is very full. I
mhm,
appreciate you taking the time today. Even emailing at you, I was like, oh, should I email her in the evening? When do I email? Well, you know what? I'm going to send it and she'll respond when she can respond. I'm sure it's crazy. So the why behind the why and why you want other, I mean, you just said why others should do it for themselves.
mhm.
But deep down, how do you want to build Black Joy? What's the other part of that why?
Yeah, again, I've always been very community focused, and particularly wanting to be community focused in the area of health. And I recognize the limitations of our current healthcare system.
Mhm.
So allowing myself, I feel like, as busy as I am, there's a lot of people who have sacrificed for me to get to this point. I'm the
Mhm.
first college graduate, first doctor in my family, and I recognize the importance of me being who I am, showing up in this place, in this space with this title. So I feel like with much privilege comes much responsibility. So this is my way of connecting outside of the traditional healthcare system, which has been a source of malign and
Right.
trepidation for a lot of our community, and allowing myself to be a resource outside of those four walls of a clinic, and doing so in a way that is uplifting and fun, and unique, and kind of encourages folks to come out and not only connect with me and be able to grow their acumen of health literacy with me, but also to convene and be with other people, because I feel like that's restorative and helps with mental and physical and spiritual health as well.
Absolutely. And I
Yeah.
want to pinpoint again, everyone, it wasn't costly. It wasn't like this was going to take my budget over. It was a lovely evening. I encourage if you see something advertised to go, and I encourage companies to bring you in and take that moment. And, people are always looking for team building and this, that, and the other. This is different. I think this will bring joy you know and you said something a few times, and I just want to let everyone know I did not ask her to say it, but my new book is called Someone Has to Be the First. And so you said many times you are the first for your family,
Mm-hmm.
and with that becomes responsibility that we don't even know is there as we're doing it
Mm-hmm.
until we've almost achieved it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I applaud you for that. Where can people find you? How can companies find you? How can individual organizations find you?
Yes, so you can find us. Our website is www.blackjoysoy.com, and we're also at Black Joy Soy on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest. All the social media platforms are at Black Joy Soy.
Wonderful. Anything you would like to close with that you want?
Um, I would say keep going and keep connecting and reaching out to one another. Building community is not always easy and it's not convenient, but it's very necessary. We need each other more than we like to admit and more than we realize. So just continue to keep connecting and keep growing together.
I love that. Thank you so much for joining. I love this was a nice full, it was a mini interview, but a nice full one with a lot of nuggets. I hope everyone gets an opportunity to experience your workshops, to experience you for who you are. I love meeting good people doing great things beyond themselves, making social impact, not just words, but actionable
Mhm.
and responsible and sustainable. So thank you for that. And I look forward to the next workshop because I'm already
Yeah.
mad when I finish spraying everything. I'm gonna need to go make another one. I went from not spraying to spraying everything always. So
Oh my goodness. Yes, we'll definitely be seeing each other soon. Thank you so much for having me.
absolutely. Everyone, thank you so much for listening, for watching. You know, I'm Leslie Short, the host of Visibility Unlimited podcast. This has been a social media. So I said social media. This has been a social impact interview. And I am so happy to have Dr. Davis Alexis with us. And I will see you soon. Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks
Great.
again.